Good morning, welcome back. Right, so we're starting the video with some bad news, unfortunately. The buyer grow and show shower, which I got along with the Asagi, which is down there somewhere. There. Unfortunately, the shower decided to leave the pond. So yeah, it jumped out or got pushed out, don't know, either way. And I found it managed to flap itself over there, and I didn't even notice. I had a busy weekend and it had probably been out for more than 24 hours. Yeah, completely dead, not a chance of survival. And so yeah, not best pleased, but not a lot I can do about it. So yeah, proper disappointed, gutted. Anyway, we move on. So in my quest to investigate the flashing and the flashing and the flicking from the fish, I've just done some more water tests, which I'll pop up on the screen now, the results. So as you can see, ammonia next to nothing, chlorine 0, nitrite still a bit higher than where I'd like it to be, but it's not as high as it has been, so it's going in the right direction. We'll talk about what I've been doing to combat that in a minute. At this present in time, as you've just seen from the beginning, I've got nets and bowls out. I've been scraping some fish. In fact, I've scraped 2, which we'll see in a minute, which were the Baia Kahaku and the Baia Karashigoi / Chag, not sure which. Oh god, reflection. So I'm just doing some scrapes, as I said, and just got these 2 out first, netted them both luckily at the same time. These are last year's Baia grow and show fish. Definitely female, 100%. Now this fish was a bit messy last year, but now it's cleaned up quite a lot. There's a slight dark bit on its head, but everything else, I'm well happy with it. Decent body on it now, just needs to get longer. And this Kahaku is doing alright too. Definitely male. You can see I'm in a lot smaller head, pointy head. Doesn't feel rough on the gills yet, but it's still a immature fish maybe. But again, I think it's doing alright. So I'm going to scrape these 2 and then pop them back. Not that you can really see, the reflection's terrible. But yeah, I'm happy with it. Chag Karashi, what's it now? 35, 36, something like that, maybe 37. And the Quacker, 33 maybe, 32, 33. I'm happy with that. Not happy that I'm having to scrape them, but hey ho. We'll talk about that in a minute. Right, catch you in a bit. And we found trick. It's one of those catch-22s, and I found something. I found 2 trick on the Karashi, and I found 2 trick on the Kahaku. Whether or not there was more, because I sort of gave up when I spotted them on the slides. It's definitely enough to treat because it's multiple fish with the same parasite, so I am going to PP the joys. And I did have some treatment bottles out because the little Asagi, he's got a bit of a red on his tail, so I'll just blob that on for a bit of stress, or possibly even, I didn't scrape it because I'm going to PP anyway. Didn't see anything else, no flukes, didn't see Costia, so boom, straight in with the PP. Well, I will be in a bit. So whilst on one hand I found something, so I'm happy, on the other hand got bloody trick. Now I did capture some picture from a microscope on my phone, not sure how that'll come across. If that looks alright on my laptop, I'll overlay that now. If not, you won't see it. But yeah, it wasn't particularly easy to spot this time. I don't know why that was. Whether there was maybe a bit too much mucus, it was a bit too thick, I'm not sure. And they weren't buzzing around, but nonetheless they were still quite visible once I'd focused in and spotted it, and they were definitely more than easily seeable once it was zoomed in and then in focus. So yeah, that's the catch-22. Happy that potentially it could be that causing them issues, not the water, or a combination of both. So yeah, so I'm going to get me PP mixed up, I'm going to get that boshed in, and then I'll talk about what else I've been doing with regards to me nitrite, not so much me ammonia, but me nitrite being higher than normal. And we'll talk about water changes as well, because that was a big topic, not last week, I didn't do a video last week, the week before, when I was asking how everybody did and how much of a water change everybody did. Right, let's get some PP mixed up, get the kettle on, not for a cup of tea unfortunately, and then tide it away, and then we'll have another chat. Right, see you in a bit. So there's my PP solution. Add some air to it to help dissolve it. So I've weighed it out. These are the kind of scales you need, because they go down to 0.1 of a gram or something. Yeah, 0.1 of a gram. Pick these up reasonably cheap, Koi Places or eBay, Amazon and the like. Boiling water for that. So I've got a spare, well, I've actually got two spare air pumps from the old pond, so I bought some new ones for this. So that's come in handy. So I'm going to bubble that off for 5 minutes, make sure it's all mixed up. Then I'm going to add it to the pond. Now I know there's going to be a lot of people saying, oh, let me fell over. It's been very hot this week. In fact, I don't know what the pond temperature is at the minute, but it has been roasting. But as you can see today, it's a lot cooler. But the pond temperature, well, the air temperature yesterday was 30 odd degrees. And the pond's at 22.5, so it's not mega warm, luckily. Even so, when that's finished mixing up, I'm going to put that air pump out here and have them air stones in the pond as well for the 4 hours or so that the PP is in the pond, because you can never really have enough air when it's hot like it is today, and it has been. I think if it was mega hot like yesterday, and maybe even tomorrow, I wouldn't have done a PP treatment today. I'd have left it until it cooled down a bit, but because it's a bit cooler today, I'm going straight in for it, and I'm around as well, because you don't really want to do a PP, dump it in and then just not be able to keep an eye on the fish. So that's the way I'm going to play it. Oh god, look at that actually, look. Frank the Chag the Gasher, God knows how we did that, obviously flicking off of something. That happened about 3 days ago, which is what's led me to get to the point of today, scraping a few and more water checks. So, well, I've found a trick now, so that is that's the course I'm going down. But the water parameters are okay. The nitrite, as I said earlier, could be doing with being a bit less, but I've been combating that because it was even higher than that last week before. Can't remember where we're at now. What I've done is I've turned my feeder down now, so they're still getting 9 feeds a day. Or is it 8 feeds? Oh god, I'm guessing. They're getting 8 feeds a day, I'm sure. 8 till 8. They're getting 8 feeds, 28 gram a feed, and then a hand feed later on in the day. So what's that, about 200 grams ish? Or more than that. 8 times 3, 24. Maybe, I don't know. Less than 300 grams of food a day, which is 150 grams less than they were getting when I did have a mega high nitrite. So that's helped. And also, thank you to everybody that commented on my how much water do you change question last week. I've always had it in my head that water changes, this, as Mankey Sankey, Sid Mitchell, the solution to pollution is dilution. So I've always had it in my head, get as much fresh water in the pond as you can. That then will mean anything that's bad in the pond will just be diluted out. Thinking back and looking at some of the comments from you guys last video, probably maybe changing too much water has not given my filters enough chance to mature on its own without the backup of the water changes. So I've addressed that. I'm changing, I should have looked at my book. Half a litre, well, it's 1 litre per 4.5 minutes. That was painful. It's a lot less water now, and actually that amount of water isn't actually diluting the pond into my overflow. It's literally that is just topping up what the drum uses. The pond water is a little bit low because I've got a couple of bowls of water out, so whether or not that's helped I don't know, but maybe a combination of that and feeding a bit less has helped. So I'm going to stick with that at the moment. I might turn it up a tad once I've done my PP, just to help flush it out. And I've got my sodium thiosulfate to hand to neutralise it if need be. And as always do, when I put this in, I'll mix up another half batch of PP. We'll get it at least weighed out just in case I need it. If the water goes brown before the 4 hours, I'll add the half a dose, and I'll keep doing that if need be. If it keeps going brown, it shouldn't do. There's not that much organic in the pond to eat the PP up. There's a little bit of fuzzy green on the wall, but nowhere near what I've had in previous years if I have had to use PP. So that's my plan. UV's off. In fact, UV's been off a couple of days. I've been messing around with my electrics just to see how much things cost, etc. I'm saving that for another, we'll talk about that at another date, a later date. We're talking about PP now, the joys of PP. So as I say, they're looking happy. It's just the flicking and flashing was getting a bit much, and as soon as the water parameters were in check, it then led me to do a scrape. 2 scrapes done, trick found on both, so no brainer. We're going in with a PP. Right, I think that's been fizzing off for long enough, so I'm going to get that out, pour that in, get this other air pump set up with them air stones in just to help the water, and just pot around the garden for a few hours and keep an eye on the fish. Right, let's get this sorted. So the reason I poured some in over there, the outlet's for the shower over there, so I'll swish it round. And there we go. Definitely purple. Easy way to kind of check, if you look in the air bubbles in your pond, you can quite clearly see that it's purple. Right, I'm going to get this other half dose mixed up. Not mixed in, I'm going to get it weighed out, just in case. As I said, I don't think I'm going to need it. Should be good to go. Right, it's 2 o'clock now, so 6 o'clock tonight will be me target finish time. Unless the fish are struggling, and I'll need to neutralise it, but hopefully not. They're normally okay with PP. Not that I've done it a lot recently, but in years gone by, it's never been an issue for me, luckily. Right, I'm going to get these bits put away, get that other air pump on, just to make sure there's enough air in the pond. There we go, one there, one over there. Right, get this junk tidied up. Look how good that looks. I'll turn the feeder off actually, I don't want that going off. Right. Not seen any of the fish for a bit. There we go. Not knowing what the hell's going on. Anyway, I'm going to tidy up. I keep saying I'm going to tidy this stuff up. I'm not getting onto it. I'm going to do it. Welcome back to PP Watch. It's been in an hour and 40 minutes and we're brown. I'm just bubbling off me half dose. I'll get that in. I said the best way to see, if you look at the bubbles, it's brown as opposed to purple. It's literally just on the turn, so fish have been mental and swimming around like crazy. I don't know whether it's been a bit of chasing from the boys. I don't know whether it's because the airlines are in and I put the net in. Don't know whether they're thinking that, you know, or the girls are thinking they can dump a load of eggs and the boys will have a bit. We don't want that, do we now? Definitely not. But they're doing alright, as I say, they're swimming around alright. In fact, they've perked up a bit. Not that they were off. But yeah, definitely a little bit of weird behaviour and a bit of chasing. I'm not overly excited about that, if I'm honest. but they're doing well. There's been no one hanging around at the top gasping for air or anything like that. Been a bit of that weird mouthing action, but been doing that for a while, so whether or not that's related I don't know. Right, let's get this in. As before, I'll start this end because that's where the returns are for the shell, and I'd always go around the outside, and that gives the fish a bit of a clear swim in the middle before it starts mixing with the rest of the water. Right. Back in. Might actually look, I spilled some. I think this that's reach, am I? I think this airstone's got about 10 miles of bloody airline on it, so I'm going to try and put it in this corner. Look, I've got a bit of a stagnant area. I'll sort that. I can work out which one it is. Hopefully it'll be that one. Yeah. Can we do it? Not really. There we go. Right, back to purple. As I say, and what I'll keep doing is, as long as the water's brown, and when it turns within the 4 hours, I'll keep adding a half dose. Obviously, and keep me on the fish. Right. I'm going to put that over here because there's a scummy corner there as well. Look. There we go, that can go off to the skimmer. Right, I'll be back with something else to report. There we go, just over 4 hours. Now neutralised. I didn't have any sodium thiosulfate. It ran out. Luckily I got a ton of HP. I bought a 5 litre tub a couple of years back, so I'll put that in. That should be crystal clear tomorrow. I'm going to turn my trickle in slightly up, and I'm going to leave the air on till a bit later on and take the kettle in before I get in trouble. Yeah, they definitely had enough towards the end of that. bit more splashing and sploshing. But it'll be good. I'll leave the air, as I say, I'm going to leave the air in for till the evening. Yeah, get that trickling turned up just to refresh the water a bit more, and then turn it back down tomorrow. Right, that's it for now. I'm going to go in, a couple of bits of work things to do, and then I'll come back and check out in a minute. Make sure hopefully everything is fine. Catch you later. What's the time? 8:30. So water's back to its clear self. I'm not seeing any major flicking or flashing, but no doubt they'll still do that for a day or two. They're still doing some weird mouth things. Not sure what's going on there. Well, there's a flash, the flick. Look. So I'm going to take the other air pump off now. But everyone looks alright, all swimming around happily enough now. And I bet my water has got some have an awesome kind of sheen to it that you get after you've PP'd. Oh, that's still on, isn't it? Oh, let me turn that off. So the TARDIS is still off. I'm going to turn that back on tomorrow. So all in all, it's successful PP treatment. Well, I hate the air going off, so I'm going to ignore that because that was on the air dome. Hopefully that would have nuked it, but I know there's been a few people, especially a few of me koi mates, that have had ongoing trick issues, so I wouldn't be surprised if it hasn't cleared it in one spot, one go, but we'll see. And as I said, I turn my trickle in, which goes into the skimmer there. I've turned that up now. That's probably around about a litre and a half a minute or so. So a bit quicker than it was at. Right, can get rid of the air pump. I've got bits of work, finish off some work I nipped out earlier. Yeah, still a bit murky the water, but the UV should pick that up and clear it tonight. I'll be interested to see actually the water tomorrow. I know, as I said a minute ago, when I've PP'd before, the water the next day always looks immaculate. Right, catch you later. So I'm just giving them their nighttime feed. It's about 10:30, so I'm whispering. But I thought I would just get on camera. A bit easier to see now it's dark with the artificial light on. So it's been 2 days since I did the PP. Just look at the water. I mean, the water's never that bad. But the clarity of it is just amazing. I'm well happy with it. And you can sort of see, well, I can see with my eyes, my old man eyes. I'm not sure if that can get on camera. You can see all these bubbles coming through, oxygen bubbles from the underwater shower returns. So yeah, I thought I'd just share that with you before I go to bed. Anyway, good night. And I'll see you tomorrow. Hello. So, I think I'm obsessed with my koi flicking and flashing. So I've been working at home today, and as you can see, I've got the net back out and the basket. And if we're looking here, got a scope and some water tests. So the first thing I did, because it takes a while to do, is my nitrite test before it flicks off. That's actually come down to 71. That's the lowest I've had it for a while, so I don't even know if you can see that. Trust me, it says 71. So I'm happy with that. That's going in the right direction. That's with a minimal trickle now. What was it? A litre per 4.5 minutes. I haven't double checked it, but I've turned it right down to about that kind of flow level by eye. And I thought, why that's doing that, because it takes 15 minutes, I'm going to get my scope out. And Francis, one of the chags, a bit mucusy on the top of her head. Probably not going to get that video, it's a bit too sunny. That chag with a little bit of missing dorsal, Wachiba style tail. Yeah, it's just a little bit of mucus on her. And as I say, they've been flicking and flashing again. Not mountain loads of flicking and flashing, but there has been, again, what I would class as an abnormal lot of flicking and flashing for my pond. There's the beast. And so I thought I'd just give her a scrape first, because she's been flicking and he's been flicking and flashing a lot, the biggest chag. And we're just a random couple of others here, there and everywhere. It's seeming to be the bigger fish, but the last lot of scrapes I did was the smaller fish, as you saw earlier in the week. Guess what? I found flukes, gill flukes to be precise, which I've got some crude video on my phone which I'll overlay now. So yes, 100% confirmed gill flukes, brilliant. So I think I've got some, is it Learnex Pro in here? I think, in the koi box, I've got a new tub of Learnex, still in date, October 2022. Oh, yeah, Learnex Pro. So I'm going to put some CT in to help strip the mucus a bit today, because I've got a massive bag of that, because I love putting chemicals in my pond at the minute. So I've got a big bag of that. Is that in date? Yeah, 2025. So I'm going to put some of that in now. Then tomorrow, it's getting on now, I don't know, 4 o'clock, half 4, something like that. Then tomorrow I'm going out, couple of beers. Then so before I go out in the morning, because I'm not beering in the morning because that would be bad, but later on in the day I'll be out. So in the morning I'm going to put my Learnex Pro in. Probably going to bypass the drum as well. Yeah, I'm going to turn the feeder off now, in fact, again, so there's not as much puppy poop to worry about. Oh my god. I'm going to turn that off now. Off. I'm going to CT now in a second, and then yeah, tomorrow morning Learnex Pro and bypass the drum until I'm back Saturday. So that'll be, I don't know, I'm staying out tonight, tomorrow night. So yeah, I don't know, 12 hours, something like that. No, it won't be more than 12 hours, won't it? 24, it'll be less than 20, whatever it is, however many hours it is. I'm going to bypass the drum, no food going in, and hopefully get maximum retention of the Learnex. I might even turn the trickle in off. Not that I think that's hitting the overflow at the moment, just to make sure I don't take anything or dilute anything out of the pond. So I don't know whether I've just been scraping until I find something because it's been getting on my nerves, or whether genuinely it's flukes, but we'll see. So my overflow isn't actually overflowing, but I'll, as I say, I'll turn the trickle in completely off so I don't overflow, because the drum won't be cleaning, because the bypasses, I'll push them out. I'll probably show you that tomorrow, but that might be in next week's video. I don't know what I filmed this week, and then bits and bobs a week. So whether or not my obsession with scraping and or water tests is justified by finding flukes. I mean, I've only found 2 on that scrape, but you're scraping a small percentage of the fish, and it's a bigger fish as well, so there's obviously a lot more surface area on a bigger fish. So yeah, I don't know whether that's the issue, but it's been getting on me wick, I'll be honest with you. Just that the fish don't normally flick and flash, and they have been. So hopefully that will be the cure. Learnex Pro. Right, get the air back on now. So I'm going to stop scraping because they've had enough stress this last week, haven't they? So they've had a PP day before yesterday. Well, no, 3 days ago. 3 days ago. Now they're going to be having some CT just to help thin everything out again, and then Learnex Pro. It's never ending. Koi keeping is supposed to be an enjoyable, pleasant, chilling, relaxing hobby. No. Right, I'm going to get this lot tidied up, get my CT measured, well, get my CT measured out now and get that dumped in. If I hadn't PP'd the other day, I'd probably PP again. but definitely on Francis there's more mucus than I would like to see, so I want to try and thin or get as much of that off as possible to give the Learnex a chance to get rid of the flukes. So I'm just going for the standard dose, whatever it says in the back of the pack. No, I'm not. I'm going to do my dose. This is probably enough, but we're smiling, we're getting somewhere. It's always good when you find something to think, is that the reason? But like I said a minute ago, I'm keeping going until I find a reason. But hey, who knows? Anyway, it's getting on my nerves. So I'm going to tidy this lot up. We'll get my CT measured in and tidy this lot up. Stress! Bloody annoying.
Early the next morning.
So good morning. It's me, I'm back. So I'm about to do my Fluke treatment, but I've had to do a couple of things which I knocked together last night. I'm going to sneeze. No, I'm not. Or am I?
Her 12 seconds later.
Done. So yeah, I had to knock together a bit of a Heath Robinson fix for me foam producer. So haven't seen that on this pond ever. So I've got a collection of foam in this corner, and I'll show you why. Because what I've done, you'll like this, odge of the week, I've capped off my foam pipes, but I've got no 1.5 inch end stops, which I'll order and make some proper ones, but for now I've just put a bit of old pond liner, Jubilee to the top. So basically the foam that would have been returning to the, would have been coming out of here, as you can see, which it's been doing, that's now returning to the pond. So I've got a now old school, which I used to have, permanent frothy corner. So they're definitely doing their job, because I never see any froth on the pond normally. So I've done that yesterday, or just, yeah, sorted that yesterday, and this morning, that is the piddly little scoop that you get with the Learnex Pro. Sorry. So that is the Learnex Pro Scoop. If you've got a massive pond, I've got to do, for my 12,800 litres, 42 scoops. 42! If you've got a pond twice the size, they honestly think you were going to count out 84 scoops of this for a nearly 6,000 gallon pond. Come on, Columbo, sort it out. Ridiculous. Anyway, so I've got all that worked out in my book. That's my massive scoop for that, and I'm going to add it in, and then as I said, I'm going to take the drum cut out. I'll take that off because I know it's just cleaned, so I won't get wet. So in the bottom of the newer Kunikoi drums, the older drums didn't have this, or mine didn't anyway, my Kunikoi 22. There's some cutouts, some plastic push out bits. Basically now what's going to happen is all the water's going to bypass. I'll get my hand in that. Well, that wasn't very good, so I'll have to get a new one of them. Look, that's the power of UV. Crack that, bugger. So the water's now going to be bypassing the screen. This is the dirty side, so that's the skimmer, that's the bottom drain. It's going to come straight in and just go straight through into the bio and over the shower. But that means it won't take any of my treatment out, and then I'll pop them back in tomorrow. Not sure what I'll do with that. I'll probably have to temporarily put some bodge tape on it and then order another one. great. Anyway, so that's the jobs for today, and then as I said yesterday, I'm having a few beers. Right, catch you in a bit. Ridiculous. Anyway, measured it out. Rather annoyingly, one tub isn't enough for 2 treatments, so I'm going to have to order another one. Gill flukes do lay eggs, and they hatch at different times depending on temperature and stuff, so you have to always retreat a few days after when doing for gill flukes. And this is why I've taken the foamer off, or cut it off inside, because this stuff, if you've not used it before, it's not particularly the best stuff to mix. And I rinsed my hand off, you can see there's a few floaty bits. So, and the drum, by bypassing the drum will give hopefully everything a bit more of a chance to mix in and stay within the pond. Although that's a bit lumpy. Mix it out with my hand. Need an electric whisk really, I'll get in trouble. It's pond stuff, I'm sure, like we all do. Any kitchen appliance is also then a pond appliance. So there we go, that's that in, and not mixed very well, but anyway. Need to do that. So there we go, job done. Not mixed very well at all, but hopefully it'll do its thing when it goes round. Obviously some of it will get stuck in the shower, no doubt. Fish are not happy now, look. Right. Tidy my junk away, order some more of that. Order a new drum cut out. God damn it. So yeah, the UV used to be on the dirty side of the drum, if you didn't know. It was clipped to here. I've actually moved it and put it the clean side now. And obviously what it's done is damaged that push out thing, that. So yeah, I'll put that side as well to also protect the drum seal. And there we go, you can see some bits in there already. Obviously that won't be getting caught in the drum screen now, that'll just be going around the system or sitting in the water. Right, that's me done for today. Got a few things to sort out before I get picked up. I'm hitting the town, one of the lads from work's leaving. So we're celebrating that, or thanking him for his hard work, whichever way you look at it. Right, anyway, so thanks for watching this week. I'll catch you next week when hopefully we'll be getting past and getting through goddamn parasite month as it's seeming to be now. So thanks for watching, I'll see you then, catch you later, bye.